quiz for you. What is the most abundant mineral in your body? I'll give you a second. 2, 3. You got it? It's calcium. You're right. Calcium is one of the most important, at the same time, complex mineral for body to process. I'll explain. See, the calcium is not a good loner. It needs company. It needs to be in a party all the time. Calcium works great with manganese, zinc, boron, and most important of them, vitamin D. If you just consume calcium without any of these, you're just wasting your time, because it's gonna just pass through your body. Let me tell you one thing. Our body is, we all know, marvelous piece of art. It knows how to get its calcium for its normal cellular function. So like 500 mg of calcium comes out of somewhere. If the food that you eat does not provide that, guess where it is coming from? Yes, it's coming from your bones. This is Tums, very frequently used for acidity. If you read the ingredients, it's basically called calcium carbonate. So what I'm going to do is, imagine this calcium carbonate as your bone. And I'm going to bring an acid. And I have here citric acid, or citric acid, as some people say. And I'm going to dissolve some of the citric acid in water. And I'm going to drop your bone in this acid and see what happens. You can see the calcium disintegrating acid really fast. When your calcium in your body reduces, and why it reduces is either you're not having enough calcium, or you are eating a diet that is full of acid. So the net acid effect in your body is that it will start dissolving the available calcium and then drain it out. Your cellular function starts to suffer and you have lots of issues. Calcium is, very, very important nutrient. It has so many benefits to keeping it like 1000 mg level, which is recommended daily dose. Is your high blood pressure, your diabetes, your cancer, and all of these lifestyle diseases that happen because of low calcium is definitely something you can avoid by making sure you have enough calcium in your diet every day. What can you do about it? First, you need to know what to buy. Most important nutrient that we are talking about, calcium, comes from beans. Tofu, a very good alternative to meat. Kale. This stuff is loaded with calcium. In fact, all green leaves are loaded with calcium. But this is wonderful, and we are going to do something about it today. You know where tofu comes from? Beans. And beans are loaded with calcium. This is kidney beans. Good source of calcium. But better than that, white beans. They are excellent. They have double the dose of red kidney beans. You can use your rajma or kidney beans curry, or substitute this with white beans and get double the benefit. So since we are talking about calcium today, I thought we'll put together a dish for you. Today our focus is on calcium, so I just want to highlight. We talked about tofu and we talked about kale. You can combine kale with some spinach, which we are going to do today, half and half. So we'll use approximately a bunch, which is 7-8 leaves of kale, a pack, which is about a pound of tofu, but we are probably going to use about 3/4 of it. We have some breadcrumbs, about 4 tablespoons of that is good enough. Then we have what is known as wheat germ powder. Wheat germ powder is extracted from the germination of the wheat, and it has a lot more protein content and it's very nutritious for you. Then we're using besan. Besan has got very good binding properties, approximately 3 to 4 tablespoons of that. Curry powder, which is also known as garam masala powder. We are using about 2 tablespoons here. 1 tablespoon will go into a bowl. I'm using some gum. This is gum arabica. You can also use xanthan gum. This comes in a powdered form, and just a little pinch of this creates good binding for the balls that we are going to fry. Some tomato paste. You can also use 2 to 3 tomatoes. Chili powder, and then a little bit of coconut cream and some salt to taste. And this is all it takes to put this together. So let's get started. Just make small pieces like so, and put this back in here. And we're going to wilt this along with some spinach. So I'm going to put approximately similar amount as kale, so like that much. And these two will go on the stove for wilting. Take the tofu out onto the cutting board, and we are going to cut approximately 3/4 of this. So we're not going to use this, just going to use this. So we have this approximately 250 grams of tofu. I'm just going to squeeze, and here you go. This is all mashed protein, soybeans and all its goodness. So we bring a lot of interesting elements to the party here. Tofu has not much of a taste of its own. So we have added about 3 tablespoons of besan. Half of this, which is 1 tablespoon of curry powder. We are going to add half of this chili and half of the salt as well. And reserve the rest of it. And the wheat germ powder, again for binding. And lastly, breadcrumb. All of this put together, we're going to mash it with a little bit of xanthan gum. Very little. Don't go overboard with this stuff. It can make the things very gooey. So just a pinch of it. And we are going to mix it up. And in your hand, you will start feeling this whole thing becoming really sticky, and that's a good thing. So if I take this out in my hand, I can make a ball like this. I like about this size, and I'm going to fry them. Our ball is all nice and golden brown, and we're going to take them out into the plate here. Don't worry about the little white spots showing, because this is going to go into a curry. We need to chop these onions in slices for frying them lightly, and I'm going to put onions in there. Then we are going to use some ginger. This is about 2 inches. We are going to use about 1 inch. Just chop it into small pieces like this, and then go like that. And then you have paste of ginger. Put them back into the frying onions. Now we invite garlic to the party. Ginger has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, and garlic has cholesterol lowering properties. So those two in combination work very well. We have onion, garlic and ginger lightly frying on medium heat while we bring our focus back to kale and spinach. Now we are going to put this into a blender and bring it down to a paste. Everything back into the pan, and this is where the final step happens. Now we are going to add garam masala or the curry powder into this, tomato paste and the coconut cream. And at this time, what I do is always check for the seasoning, for the salt. straight out of the pan, cool it down. Yummy. The way to serve is we just put tofu right here and we add the kale and the spinach sauce on top of it. It's the creation of mine and see how. Well, ideally we would let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes before serving, and then in 5 minutes when you cut them open, it'll have some juices of the curry going inside the tofu. It's pretty hot right now. The texture of tofu combined with little bits and pieces of onions. Kale and spinach provides their own green, light bitterness combined with a tasty curry powder that is giving its own flavor. This is an amazing dish. Most people think that nutritious and healthy meal is hard to prepare and it's usually not tasty. I challenge you to try this. You will love it. In addition to the calcium that we talked about in this episode today, we are going to get lots of vitamins and other minerals we didn't even mention, but that's a subject of another episode.